This was my first course in the major, and I was so excited to finally be jumping into the content to get my degree.
During the course, I was totally engaged. There were interesting videos to connect the concept to the readings. There were discussions to challenge me, and I felt like I was taking the first steps towards preparing for my career.
The thing I like to do the most is solve problems, think things through. That's why I chose this field of work, and why I am so excited to be continuing my education.
I was so impressed by the course and the program those first few weeks. Sure, we were just learning foundational concepts, but I knew this knowledge would build towards deeper understanding in this course.
I was excited to see the pieces fitting together as concepts were introduced in the early modules. Theories, formulas, ways to evaluate things.
I was really looking forward to seeing what type of project we would do at the end of the course to tie it all together.
Then, we came to the last weeks of class, and I felt like a runner preparing for a marathon, then being asked to take a pop quiz on what color my running shoes were.
It was a bit deflating to see a multiple choice quiz show up for the final exam. I'm pretty sure I won't be presented with a series of answers out in the working world, and I just have to pick the right one.
I find it interesting that no matter how old we are, our brain processes information in the same way, from our birth until the height of our cognitive abilities. And when we recognize and we decide to study, learn, and to teach in a way that the brain likes to accept information, everything is easier. It's more fun. It's more memorable. And memorable is exactly what we're looking for. As students, we're electing to study, and we'd like nothing more than to have learning tapped into something that really resonates, something that engages us, firsthand knowledge of something that will serve us in the future. Best case, scenario-based practice, as if we were in the real world situation. For that, builds confidence and deep understanding. You know what you want your students to be able to do by the end of a module or unit, by the end of your course, and by the time they finish your program and they get the degree. Learning always starts small at the module level, and it grows from one module to the next, from one course to the next. As concepts are repeated and practiced, dendrites in neural pathways grow, which facilitates transfer to long-term memory. So, I'd ask you to pause the video here and take just a minute to reflect on your learning career. Write down 1 or 2 assessments or projects that you remember doing. Taking time to complete this activity will give you a deeper connection with the next pieces. Take just a minute, no more, and then email me or Teams chat me the assignment that you most remember. In assessment workshops, I often hear crickets when I ask this question. It's hard to remember something you really engaged with and that you remember a number of years later. And I think it's important to ask why. Why is it we don't remember? I've heard a few great examples of things that people remember doing. Even years later, they remember the deep engagement required to complete the assignment, or they remember the learning that went with it. And those are the best end of course and program learning outcome assignments, because they had to engage deeply, and you can see it. These are the things that a student can draw on in their next course, that they can speak effectively to in an interview, or that they take with them to use in the real world as they embark on their careers. I'd like to challenge you to consider the assessments you have towards the end of your course. Are your students doing something to showcase deep learning, to practice concepts, or having conversations they'll need to have in their career? If not, is there something they could be doing? Do your program PLOs offer an opportunity to tap into something that's not already part of your course assignment? This is a great time to consider even a small change to raise the bar on expectation and an opportunity for deeper engagement.
In the hallowed halls of academia, where precision is paramount and logic reigns supreme, we recognize that if we say that we are going to teach you to do something, it makes sense that we give you the opportunity to show us you can do it. Just like if we expect a 5-star chef to cook a 5-star meal, and the meal comes nowhere near meeting our expectations, we feel gypped. If students choose our course, or program based on the objectives and thereby set their expectations for what they'll learn, they expect to reach those learning goals as well. So let your students show off for you. Give them a challenge. Give them something that will be fun for them to create and interesting for you to see as you determine how close to meeting or exceeding your expectations they are. But how, you might ask? The next steps on the path to a well-aligned course and program is to look for that alignment at each level. Does each objective have a measurable verb that is at the cognitive level appropriate for this part of the course or program? One skill that is easy to identify both for completing work and knowing what is being evaluated. And finally, an assessment for each objective at the cognitive level equal to the measurable verb. In short, do you have an assessment to measure each objective, module, and course? Then, we know each core course is in the program for a reason, each course contributing to the collective knowledge students will gain over time as they move through the courses on their path to graduation. So, which PLOs does your course touch, either as the introduction to, practice of, or an opportunity to showcase mastery of programmatic objectives? And finally, which assessment in the course showcases their deepest learning of one or more program PLOs?
So there you have it, how to align your assessments from the very first introduction of learning, where students show you the first steps of understanding, up through each cognitive level of the path to mastery. From where they first recall things and then show their understanding by explaining or having a lively discussion with classmates. Then, that middle ground, where they're using their knowledge as they apply the concepts, and the ability to analyze situations. To deeper learning, where recognition and understanding are used before they can apply their knowledge and analyze, but now they can evaluate and they can put forth a hypothesis or present a justification. And finally, they can use all 5 of those lower cognitive levels as they create something, a product, a solution, collaborate with others to prepare a presentation, or design communication in some manner to help others understand. And now you know they have that deep understanding that represents what you taught them. And you see it by looking at their work. Your course, the program, and the institution, preparing them to walk out the door at graduation and take the working world by storm. For those working through the Global Campus O&A initiative, once I see your chat or email with the assessment, you remember, I'll open the assessment document on Teams and send you a link. Find your course, follow the prompting to consider the questions as you prepare for our assessment meeting. I look forward to seeing you there. And if you have questions or concerned or you're stuck, reach out. Our goal is to support and guide to make each step of the process as easy as possible. Remember, we're here for you. If you want to chat through the learning journey you're creating for your students or engage in a lively conversation with regard to things you can incorporate into your class or assessments that engage for deep knowledge and retention, contact us. Your passion is your subject matter. Ours is building awesome learning experiences.